All right, everyone, how about 3 quick cards and a bottom card with me? Now that the gardeners are gone, this is take 2. I had the gardeners around me for take 1. Which we all know turns into about 400 cards because I always clarify and all that stuff. It's straight up energy reading. Doesn't matter what your sign is. It's general reading. May or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here or you found Steve Love Tarot, you're here for a reason. I asked an interesting question. I asked, why are these runners the way they are? Okay? Why? Because there's a lot of stubbornness in the energy. There's depression in the energy. There's just Burger King behavior of having to have things their way, controlling. Why? Well, it's a bit of an origin story. You know, you always want to look to history to teach you things. I always teach you guys that. History shows you things. And what we got here is it's like a superhero. They all have an origin story, right? Batman's parents were killed in an alley. He witnessed it. He then later grew up to become Batman. I mean, it's a condensed version, but that's the origin story. Why the fuck are these runners like this? Well, it's not too dissimilar in a lot of ways from Batman, to be honest with you. Here's a pre-shuffle. Here's what the universe had to say, okay? 4 of Cups crossed by the 5 of Pentacles. Why are these runners behaving the way they are? Well, I see it all the time. I call it sometimes a woe is me energy, right? It's someone who leaves themselves out in the cold. There's a bigger picture here, right? But it boils down to disappointments. The 4 of Cups. Disappointment, right here. And they allow that, they carpet sweep that disappointment. They allow it to leave them out in the cold, combined with a fear of loss, which is what the 5 of Pentacles represents also. So I talked about carpet sweeping. Here it is. Here's my carpet sweeper, the King of Wands. I got a carpet sweeper sandwich right here. Right here in the pre-shuffle. I've got someone who puts up an ego or whatever. Disappointments happen, things happen. They just never look at it. They never do anything about it. They just pretend that everything is great, and they try to control the narrative as best they can. Right? The message that's going out and the message inside themselves. And the net result is 5 of Cups. Regrets, sadness, all of it. Sad horse right here. You see, now I dug a little deeper and I get the Queen of Pentacles. And it's very interesting when you factor that energy in. Energy is always like ingredients in a recipe. Okay? That's why you don't just want to pull one card. You only get one little message. This here, this recipe makes a certain kind of cookie. Alright? And that cookie is, this is what they thought or were taught life was supposed to be, and this is real life. Okay? Real life is full of disappointments. It's full of possible losses. Trying to keep up appearances. This is somebody who tries to keep up appearances based on some sort of idyllic image that they have in their head, probably put there by their parents or their surrounding energies as they grew up, of how life is supposed to be. This Queen of Pentacles here. And they just, again, it's all carpet sweeping. It's all somebody here who life didn't go according to plan. That's what this recipe is. And instead of facing that, getting real and fixing it, they just leave the disappointments under the carpet, right? Leave themselves out in the cold, and anything good show it, and just put some sort of image out to the public, out to the general, everyone around them, some kind of image. I mean, it's textbook. It's textbook. End of story. You know, history always tells you about a person. You know, when you look into their life, you look at the people they admire, look at the things that they associate with, the people they associate with, all that. It'll tell you about a person. So let's pull 3 cards and a bottom card on this. So why are they what's the beginnings, the surface energy from the pre-shuffle of their origin story? It's a life didn't go according to plan sandwich, and the King of Wands can't admit that. Okay? It's a stubborn energy. It's an energy that they try to control everything. Man, it's all falling apart on them, what I'm seeing in that pre-shuffle. We didn't see a tower, but it did end technically with a 5 of Cups. It all ends in regret. All right? It all ends in regret for their behavior, yet they don't know how to change their behavior. Or maybe they do and they just don't. I don't know. Let's pull 3 cards and a bottom card here. You ready? Here we go. The bottom card, the 4 of Swords. Very interesting energy there. It can mean a lot of things. I think it means that again, we're tying with this carpet sweeping sort of theme. This card will be crossing the center card. Let's see what it is. And the Ace of Swords, the Devil, yeah. And the Seven of Swords. Yeah, again, you guys, I mean, these runners are the way they are because they don't do anything about toxin. They don't do anything about the disappointments. This is doing nothing. They do nothing about it. They don't. The Four of Swords means a lot of things. It can mean healing. It can mean resting the brain, allowing the intuition to flow, the little third eye to light up, or it can mean doing nothing. There's an energy of nothing. There's a void in the environmental energy on this Devil. Okay? There's a lot that this person has carpet swept. So much the dust under the carpet has formed the shape of a goat with its feet on fire. Right? Now, here's the thing. I always say this in my readings. Well, not always, but I say it sometimes. Your person, these runners, have a questionable relationship with the truth. If you don't believe me, it's right here. It's the Ace of Swords and the Seven of Swords, which quite frankly is very crazy to me because I pulled a Scorpio reading early today. It's online now, it should be. And the overall energy of the Scorpio reading from another deck, not from this deck, it was the Light Seer, I believe, was the Ace of Swords crossed by the Seven of Swords. I shit you not. And again, their person in particular has a lot of, you know, this sort of issues that hold them back. Basically, it's just all issues that hold them back. This person here, when confronted with the truth, will deny and run from the truth. Whether that's the truth told to them or it's a truth inside themselves and the thoughts in their head. They've got themselves convinced that the toxin is okay. Now, this isn't where they're at now. Obviously, they're growing and stuff. We're pulling an origin story here. Why are they the way they are? What made them this way? Just like I told you, what made Batman, right? Witnessed his parents dying in the alley. Well, your person here was taught all wrong, I think, from childhood. I think from the very beginning. From the very beginning, they was a little baby in the hospital, in the incubator, devil energy started attaching to them. I think I would blame either the parents here, perhaps they're superficial, materialistic parents, selfish parents, parents that were upwardly mobile, that maybe wanted your person to, you know, grow up to be something great, to help elevate them, that kind of thing. That's possible. But they were led to believe that what most of us would see as toxin, right? What most of us would see as toxin is okay. And they've since learned the truth. I think they've always known the truth. You wouldn't have a soul connection with this person if they weren't on some level an old soul or on your level. You have a soul connection with this person. In the soul, you guys are a perfect match. But they run from it. They run from that truth. They do nothing about the toxin. This is carpet sweeping. This little section here, the middle card and this card, should back up my pre-shuffle. And it does. It's carpet sweeping, carpet sweeping, carpet sweeping. All right? And here's what's interesting. This is do nothing, right? Do nothing. They do, in the main reading, we have the Devil. Okay? They do nothing about the toxin. It's a repeat message. I always tell you, energy has an A side and a B side. On the B side, it's right here. They do nothing about love. They don't. They take no action toward anything they feel passionate about, and they take no action toward toxin that's on their side. What net result is exactly what's happened, isn't it? The net result here would be nothing. They do nothing. They do nothing about either. All they do, what they do take action on is the truth, and they run from it. And it's probably what they were taught. This is an energy of, again, it's just an example. I'm not being literal. But this is an energy of someone who is in like a, for example, like a political family or some sort of important family. And those families always have to keep up an image. If somebody does something wrong, little Junior steals a car and gets caught, they try to cover it up. They cover it up with money, or they put out a cover story that it was this, this, and this, and all that kind of stuff. That's what this is. That's what this is. Taking the truth and creating a cover story to mask it, to hide it. This all ties to that King of Wands that we saw in the pre-shuffle. Now, that was just an example. I'm not saying your person's from a political family or some important, prominent type of thing that's always worried about their image. They might be, But even if they're not, this person here is excessively, for some reason, and we'll dig, worried about what other people think. I mean, it really boils down to that. And I believe this is well ingrained. This is my baseline energy. They were taught this. As a matter of fact, dare I say, look at this. You want to talk about, I said they do nothing about love. What happens when love comes around, right? Love here has the power to change. There's that death card underneath it. I'll dig a little deeper here. I'll go deeper in the environmental energy. They do nothing about the devil. They do nothing about love. No approach from the Knight of Cups here. And right there, the death energy is underneath the Knight of Cups. What's crossing death? The world. And again, in spite of all the evidence around them, here's what that says. In spite of all the evidence around them. Like when you guys first crossed paths, that huge amount of love that they felt, right? Huge amount of evidence that you would be great, that you would be better than what they have. Truth coming up, Archangel Michael's sword running right up through them. In spite of all that evidence, and the world, the energy around them changing because of this, they still did nothing about this. They still were loyal to whatever this represents. And I think it represents someone who was taught or learned as they went through life that when disappointments come in, you just sweep them under the carpet and smile a lot. I always say these runners remind me, the energy reminds me of someone who's always smiling. It's always got a big smile on their face, like everything's great. Look at me, I'm having a great time, life is good. It's all bullshit. That's an acquired behavior. Devil energy is acquired. It's static energy that attaches to us as we go through life. And I think it's been attaching to them since they were in the incubator in the fucking hospital. I truly believe it. Laying there in that little thing, you know, or whatever they put you in the hospital, I don't know. But the little bed before you take them home, I don't know, whatever. The point being, it's just, whatever the hell it is, it's just, it's so deep within this person to mask anything that ruins the image of however they're living. Let's talk to the witches. Let's talk about, you know what? Let's talk to the devil. I don't like talking to goats, but let's talk to it. It's been there since forever and ever with this person. It may be energy carried over from a past life. It feels that old. It feels that old. It's like the way they've been living is karmic, but it's, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's past its expiration date. With that world card under there that I showed you, it's past its expiration date. It's done. They don't have to keep doing that. As Tom Petty once sang, you don't have to keep living like a refugee, right? You don't have to live like a refugee. I don't know why they're living like a refugee here. I don't get it. Why is the devil here? What is this? What is this energy? And don't give me the fucking devil. Yeah. It creates a haze of confusion, the Seven of Cups. It limits their choices because there's an image that has to be kept up. If you think about it, that makes sense. There's an image that has to be kept up. Your choices are limited. This person, it's like someone who can't do everything they'd like to do, who longs for the things that they'd like to do, that they wish they can do. There's a lot of things that they'd like to do that they can't because it would tarnish the image of whatever's around them. So even though they'd love to do it, they lie to themselves and say, no, I can't. It's like someone who denies themselves any happiness because the loyalty they're giving to others would be, or it would ruin some kind of bubble or cover story or something along those lines. I don't know. It's like that. What's on top? Five Swords is short-term thinking. Yeah, it's more bullshit. False victories, more short-term thinking. What's the center card? The Three of Swords. Again, this is a source of pain for your person. Yet they just can't seem to break free, or couldn't. We'll say in the past. They are starting to. I'm drawn, again, origin story. This energy, this toxic energy, they were taught all wrong. Okay? Carpet sweep the pain. It's fine. Everything's good. There's other ways to look at it. I don't know. There's all sorts of weird energy here. Well, I got to see what's bookending the Five of Swords, which is short-term thinking. False victories. It's a false victory if something hurts you, right? And you sweep it under the carpet and then say you're okay. You know, that's Five of Swords. That's sabotaging yourself. I got 2 cards of self-sabotage, devil and pain. Why is the Five of Swords, 8 swords? Fear. I don't have a good card here. Do you see what I've got? Devil, 5 swords, 3 swords, 8 swords. Swords. All of it. All of it. It's a lot of swords. Holy shit. I mean, I stand by my pre-shuffle, but I was too mild. It's some sort of, there is, and I'm just going to say it, there is some sort of thing. Life didn't go according to plan, and there's some sort of image that they have to keep up. They long for the things that they can't do. It reads like a prince or princess that loves the village plumber, but they can't date the village plumber. They can't have the village plumber because it would ruin the whole image. The family would never go for it. It's not possible. It's just not done with the energy around them. That's an exaggerated example, but exaggerated examples sometimes have the most impact, right? And that's sort of where you come in. You're sort of, they can't, for some reason, going toward you is going to upset the apple cart in some way under this energy. But just looking at the historic energy of this person, they're repressed. They're held back by an image that they must keep up. And now that's going to translate differently for all of you. But you can see it right here. It's, by the way, whatever this devil represents causes this person nothing but pain. It could be a spouse that continually cheats, but they can't do anything about it. It could be a marriage that's long over, in a separate, you know, they sleep in separate rooms, but they keep up the image to the public that it's really good and everything's great. It can be a controlling family where they have to keep up an image. And again, my little prince or princess that loves the village plumber or village baker, and but they can't have that because they're too low on the social scale, you know, ruin the image kind of a thing. It can be that. It's all designed to keep it's like their entire life was designed to keep them trapped. And the scary part is, because of their short-term thinking, they stay trapped, or did. They can get out of this anytime they want. That's why this 8 of Swords comes up in readings a lot, right? You know, this is why. We're getting the origin story. What's the 7 of Swords here? Well, you know what? Let's not do that. What's the truth here? Okay? What would they, this is what, you know, this is what they would, this is the truth that they run away from. What is that truth? What is that truth? Tell me about the Ace of Swords. Let's pull on that first. First, we'll pull on the truth that they run away from, and then we'll look at the lies. Okay? This is, just take a screen grab. This is your person's origin story. If they were a comic book superhero, their origin, I said it was similar to Batman, didn't I? He witnessed his parents being killed in an alley, and then he grew up to be Batman. Well, criminal came, killed his parents in an alley. 3 swords caused him a lot of pain, right? But through some short-term thinking, he thought if he put a little suit on and got a utility belt that he could go around and fight crime and be a superhero. Okay, I mean, it is a little bit like that. I mean, I could twist it into Batman pretty easily here. But either way, it's your person. It's pretty much what I've described from the pre-shuffle on. It's your person's origin story. Understanding somebody is about understanding their history, where they come from. It's also about understanding their actions. It's also about understanding why they admire certain things or certain people, and then researching those certain people or certain things to figure them out on the backside, to come up the back way. That's why I always encourage everybody to study history. It's important. Y'all love that astrology, don't you? Well, astrology is just historical patterns. You're studying history if you're into astrology. When this is trying this happens. Okay? And the peripheral energy is different, but this kind of theme is going to happen when this trines this, because this is what happened in history. It's like that. History. Not enough people study history these days. And that's why mistakes repeat. History has something to teach us. Let's go. Well, this has a lot to show us about your person. So what is this truth that they know? What's the truth here? What is it? Let's see. What's the truth here? Yeah, the truth is they want love. The Ace of Cups, and it's flowing. They realize the environmental energy around this truth. The whole environment around it is that they want love. And they run away from it. But we already know that from here. They do nothing. When love shows up, they do nothing. And they do nothing about this. So, I've said it before, and I will say it again. This is somebody who has been hurt by the energies around them, probably brought up, for some of you, a good number of you, brought up wrong. Their parents lied to them, which is the most common thing, by the way. The most common words out of the mouth of a therapist, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, for most people that go to therapy, is your parents lied to you. It's something they all have to say. Okay? They teach it to you in the psychology books. Your parents lied. They taught the kids wrong. They rather than let the kids go off and be who they're going to be and follow their soul's true purpose, they made little clones of themselves. So somebody made this. Devil energy is acquired. Whether that applies to you or not, somebody or something made this person believe that whatever this illusion, this image that they have to keep up is, it was life. It's how life works. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. They know it's wrong. I know they know it's wrong because I'm pulling on what is the truth that they run away from when the truth creeps up. It's love. It's about love. There's no love here. Do you see love here? I don't. I see a heart, but it's got 3 swords through it. I see someone trapped. I see someone with short-term thinking it's easier just to stay. You know. That's the devil tells me as the base energy. This is the base energy. These are the effect cards. The base energy tells me, because I know devil energy is just static energy that attaches to us as we go through life. If we don't deal with it when it comes in, it builds up, it builds up, it builds up. Becomes self-sabotage. This is acquired. Someone was taught that their life is what it's supposed to be. That this image you have to keep, this is just how we have to do it. This is just how we do things. They know. They want love. What's on top? Knight of Cups. More love. Ace of Cups. Knight of Cups. Where have we seen a Knight of Cups before? Oh, I don't know. It's not just about you. This isn't just you showing up. The soul connection. Everything that shows up that this person, they might work on a project with somebody, a work project, and they really would love that person. Oh, that person would be wonderful. They do nothing about it. Nothing happens. It doesn't matter. They just do nothing about it because they feel like they're trapped. Here it is. Here's a picture. They feel like they're trapped. They're not. That's short-term thinking. These two are read together. This is short-term thinking. Short-sightedness. I'll phrase it like that. Love. The truth is all love so far. Love, love, Knight of Cups. The truth is they'd love nothing more than to leave this and go towards something good. I can already predict, based on these cards, what the lie is that they tell themselves. But I can't. It's my story. It's a great example. It's not a one-to-one for your situation. The prince or princess that falls in love with the commoner. But they can't have the commoner because they can't. It would ruin the image here. The family wouldn't accept it. It's the same reason princes and princesses. I mean, sometimes they break rank and that happens. Yes, but in our story here, it can't happen. That's the lie they tell themselves. Oh, but I can't have this. I made these choices to stay in this, so this tells me, that's why it's an origin story. It tells me that this is ingrained in this person. This is core programming is what it's called. What's the center card? More love. The most love I can pull. Fuck. Come on, you guys. I'm not making this shit up. You see in the cards, I'm not looking. You know I'm not looking. Queen of Cups, the most love I can pull from the deck, which, by the way, is read in my reading with the Ace of Cups. So now I got the Queen of Cups who holds the Ace of Cups, read with an Ace of Cups and a Knight of Cups about them, a forward movement with that cup. That's the truth that pops in. My fucking princess falling in love with the commoner thing is perfect. It all ties back to there's some sort of image that they try and keep up. There's some sort of fear of what other people will think. It's all that and more. I mean, I'm having a hard time finding the words. I'm doing the best I can, but you get the idea. This person's origin story is one of control, one of being held back, one of being stuck in a situation, feeling like they're trapped based on decisions they've made, even if they get hurt. Even if this is a marriage where someone cheated on them, they still have to accept it. They still have to stay. They have to put out a cover story where everything is great, we're fine, it's terrific, it was all my fault, you know, whatever. It's unreal. What's bookending the Knight of Cups? I swear to God, unreal. It's the Death card. All they would love to do. First we pulled on what's the truth here that they realize, that they then run from. It's all about love. The Death card is just red with the Knight of Cups. The Death card, look, the two people on horses moving forward. It's almost the same horse too, I think. I think this is Jasper. I know this is Jasper. This looks like Jasper. It's the same fucking horse. They move forward movement. This is an energy of change. Okay? They want change. They want out of this. But they don't. Their origin story is one of having to deny themselves. The prince or princess can't bang the commoner, sort of a thing. Because it ruins an image. They'd have too much explaining to do, or they were taught under this energy that this is bad. Okay? Even though they know it's not, because they feel it. Now, so they feel all this love. They want love. They would love nothing more than to go toward love. Then they have to get rid of it. They run away from it. Sneaky deaky away. All the while keeping an eye on the thing that they ran away from. Which is probably where that regret comes from. That Five of Cups and the pre-shuffle, isn't it? Five of Swords. Seven of Swords. Five of Swords and Seven of Swords are tied together. So this is short-term thinking. This here is too. But it's a lot of deception. So we pulled on the truth, universe. Tell me about the lie. What are the lies that they tell themselves? This will tell us more about their origin story and the results of it. Alright. The end result is sneaky deaky in a way, and lying, self-deception, lying to the outward public about all of this, which we can see is shit, right? But they're not going to tell it is shit. In fact, energy is always in layers. If we want to know what they tell the public, we simply look over here. This is the truth that they put out. Everything's great. Knight of Cups. We're moving forward. Cups. It's all about cups. They lie about. There's something here that withholds love. It reeks of somebody here who's living against their soul's true purpose. All right. Their soul is better than the souls around them. All right. It's more advanced. It's higher vibration. Of course it is. They're your soulmate. Of course their soul is higher vibration than the devil. Three swords. All right, tell me about the Seven of Swords. So we know the truth, and then they run from it. The truth is about love and what they'd really like. That prince or princess that wants to bang the commoner. Well, but I can't. Right? Why? What is it? This is wonderful. The affecting energy around the lie is a celebration. Three Cups. They lie about how they feel. They lie to themselves. It had to be Cups. If it wasn't Cups, I was going to be real surprised. There's no way this is a Pentacle. They lie about Pentacles? No, they don't. They were taught to love Pentacles, apparently. I don't have any Pentacles here. But I got lies about. Three is the flow of water. It's the flow of emotion. They might also, if that cheating thing is about you, it might be for a couple of you. Your person got cheated on, and they forgave. Then they carpet swept the pain. Yeah, they lie about that too. You know, they lie about all of that. And tell themselves it never happened. But as a core energy, right? They lie about the Cups. They lie and then they feel all this and then tell themselves it doesn't matter. All right, and the message they're putting out is maybe one of love. It can be, but it's a lie. It's root. The root energy is deception. What's on top? The Wheel of Fortune. That's interesting. The Wheel of Fortune there on top of the Seven of Swords with a Three of Cups crossing. What is that? Like I said, energy is a recipe, right? Each little card is an ingredient on some level. And this is interesting because for a lot of them, they don't believe their own lies. They tell the lie, it just comes around, they don't believe it. That's part of the pain. That's part of why this pain is here. What is the center card? Because they're in pain because they don't have love. Well, if we look at the center cards across, what is this one? 9 Wands, yeah. Again, it's self-denial. It's a lot of this is internal with your person. They lie to themselves even more than they lie to outside people. 9s are the end in tarot, yes, but it's almost time for this person to open up is what this is telling us. But as far as the lies go, what's bookending the Wheel of Fortune? The Strength card. Keeping the strength up, because this is a 9. 9s are the end in tarot, right? Everybody's tired here. It's weary, the energy coming off of this. It's getting harder and harder for this person to keep up the lies, which is probably why we see in the readings their energy coming towards you, which is probably why there is hope for communication here, for somebody doing something about this. The lies are getting thin. Can I put it that way? That's a pretty thin wall, right? You can see right through it. The lies are getting thin. The Strength card here is interesting with the Wheel of Fortune. It's a combination of strength and fear. It's a combination, it goes around and around, right? The lies that they tell themselves generate fears, but your person is stronger than that. And the Strength card often represents the heart chakra. And their heart chakra is opening, and this is getting harder and harder for them to deal with. This is crazy. So why are the runners the way they are? What is their origin story? Well, the story is told here, all right, and in the pre-shuffle. This is the truth that they know, and this is them running from it. But the thing is I expected them running from it to be a little stronger than what it is now. It isn't. They don't have much strength left. In fact, strength, read with the Wheel of Fortune, turns strength upside down. They don't have much strength left, backing up with the center card of a thin wall here and a tired warrior. You know, they don't have much strength left to keep up their own lies. And that too, as energy is always in layers, is why the 3 of Cups is here. Love wins in the end. The cups are more powerful than this. Cups, see, over here we got some angel energy over here. Right here, that's angel energy. That's Archangel Michael's Sword of Truth. Queen of Cups is angel energy. And the Knight of Cups is angel energy as well. It's very strong. The Death card creates a powerful major arcana change here. We have change in them being trapped because they no longer have the strength to keep it up, to keep up the lies. So this energy is losing, which when the devil is losing, it causes them to try harder. It causes that energy to kick up a notch, okay? It's a type of energy that we've talked about recently, that does create almost internal conspiracy theories and things like that. Things that are easy to digest is what the devil works with. Nothing complex, just easy to digest. That's why I say devil energy often works with flattery. Flattery is easy to digest. I'm not coming at you with a calculus equation. I'm saying you look nice in that outfit. It's much easier to digest that. It is what it is. Their origin story is one of a lot of image to keep up. A lot of what they've been taught, they were taught all wrong. It's just, there's too many stories here with too many people watching to be totally specific, but I think you catch my drift. I think I've described this person to a T, and the energies around them are about control. They try to control, your person, your runner tries to control things because the energies around them control them. Although I'm not sure until at least recently they're aware that they're being controlled. Okay? So their inclination is to try to control what they can because the energies around them control them. It's a bit like being in a prison cell, right? Your person, or we'll say you maybe in this case, you're in a prison cell. You're controlled by the guards, by the system of the prison. You have to do this at this time, you have to do that at that time. So inside the cell, while you're in there, you become a control freak of the cell. You decide where the little pictures hang. You decide where, and everything's a very big deal. You're happy to control the things that you can control. It works plays similarly with anorexics, for example. They don't eat because it's the one thing that they feel like they can control. In the external world, they feel like their life is out of control. so they control the one thing they feel like they can, which in their case is eating. All right, it's the same kind of thing. That's why your person's the Burger King. Your person is the Burger King because the energies around them are far superior to any king. It's, you know, it's a goat with its feet on fire. You know, it's very controlling, very manipulated, that kind of thing. They are working past this. I've seen it in the readings. But it's interesting to see that even in the past, they always wanted love. And that makes sense. Because they manifested, I know that the runners in this particular cycle are the ones who manifested it in. And the universe gave it to them. But they did nothing. That's what the universe is telling us here, too. It says they do nothing about this toxic energy. And they did nothing about this when it shows up. It's very clear here, because this is in the past, origin story, that they are manifesting love. The truth of what they really want is love. Ace of Cups crossing here, Queen of Cups in the middle. They want change. They want, and the Knight of Cups here is tied to the Knight of Cups here. So the universe gave them their manifestation, which they did nothing about. They got their wish, and they did nothing about it. That tells me that the energies around them have created fears. Much like in my princess story, right? The reason the prince or princess doesn't go for the commoner that they fell in love with is in part, yes, on the surface, it ruins the image. The family is this, that person doesn't fit with the royal family and all that kind of stuff. But also that royal family has created fears within that person that if they dare step out, all hell will break loose. If you let that person in, all hell will break loose. You know, that kind of thing. There's a lot of fear around people like that. That's why they're paranoid sometimes. They won't talk too much, very careful about what they say in interviews, that kind of thing. Because, you know, fear. That's what the devil generates, isn't it? Right? They do it. It is. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. It's always nice to get a snapshot of somebody's origin story. These runners in this cycle, this is horrifying. This center row is horrifying. But what's equally as horrifying to me is they always want love. They always want to change. They know deep down in their soul that this is horrifying, yet they do nothing about it. Yet when given what they want, they still do nothing. That's horrifying. You know, and that's what's going to get us a couple of extra cards here. All right? Let's see. Let's just see one card and a crossing card. Why? Why is our net energy nothing, universe? They do nothing about this. They do nothing about that. Why? I guarantee you, I've already said it. But I like to throw cards. It's fun. It's fun to shuffle. I love shuffling. It's great. Why? When given that Knight of Cups, they still do nothing. Why? I'll tell you why. And I haven't said it yet. Two of Pentacles crossed by the Fool. Round and round she goes. I'll tell you why. They don't know how to make a decision, and it doesn't surprise me. Oh, look. The Queen of Cups by accident left there. Unreal. They don't know how to make a decision. This is all we need to see. Well, go. Yeah. Four of Wands. Four of Wands crossing the Fool, in turn crossing the Two of Pentacles. This is a happy new beginning. This person wouldn't know something good if it walked up and bit them. And that's part of what this energy does. That's how they were brought up. That's probably the main reason they ran from you. Probably coming up with all sorts of conspiracy theories about you. And I'm sure I've pulled on it before, the energies around them saw you as some kind of threat for a good number of you. Okay? It probably filled their head with nonsense, because that's what the goat with its feet on fire does. It's a talking goat. That's all it is. But, how do I phrase this? They never really make a decision. That's why they do nothing about the devil. And they do nothing when they get their wish and the Knight of Cups shows up. This person, and I've said this before, I know I have, that they had never made a decision about you. They don't make a decision about anything. They can't. There's just a huge amount of fear here. toward making a decision. It's an infinity symbol. That's all I'm drawn to. It goes around and around. They never make a decision about anything that would cause change. The butterfly represents change. They never make a decision about anything that would cause change. And the net result is they end up doing nothing about the devil and nothing about the thing that they wish would come in, that they manifested in, that would bring change. They can't make a decision. And I understand why. Because that's what these energies do. I showed you here, Five of Swords, short-term thinking. Yeah. They feel, it's right here. They feel trapped. The card that's red with 5 swords, the 8 swords. They feel trapped. They don't feel like they can't. It's a damned if they do and damned if they don't kind of a thing. There's so much shit. The devil generates so much shit in their head about, oh, well, this will happen. It's that fear, you know. They just can't make a decision. They never do. So they end up doing nothing. They are operating under the old principle of if you don't know what to do, don't do anything at all. Which is fine. It works in certain situations, but not with toxin. When it's toxin, you need to rise above it. Until they make a change, until they get the strength to actually make a change, which they are, it's slowly coming. They have to raise their vibration high enough to see above the haze that this creates. This is low vibration. Okay? That's your reading. That's their origin story. I mean, I feel sorry for people like this. I do. And I know for some of you, you're going to have to apply it. But for a good number of you, I've been quite literal. Okay? And they don't have to be, please don't take my analogies too literally. They don't have to be royalty. Some families are just snooty. Right? Think about it. For a good number of you watching, I know from the static energy, not all of you, so don't freak out if it's not you. But I know every single person matters. So even if I'm just talking to one person here, I know that they don't bring you into their fray because their family probably wouldn't accept you or wouldn't like you. They don't like what you do or something along those lines. Something like that. Okay, snooty. Right? It's here. That's part of it. But it carries over into much more than that for the rest of you, where that doesn't apply to. It's an energy of them being controlled. All right? So your person in turn controls what they can control. My prison cell and anorexic analogies will apply there. On the other side, the prince and princess trying to bang, who wants to desperately bang the commoner, will apply for the rest of you. In either case, there's an image here that's been portrayed, that they're trying to keep up. There's a cover story that they'd have to tell the truth on if they were to actually go for what they want or leave. It's like someone who says, you know, you run into somebody and they're in a bad marriage, let's say, and you say, well, why don't you just get a divorce? And their response is, because my house is too nice. Right? That's, okay. You know, that's kind of a good summation of the energy that's here. And it's someone here who wishes one thing, they get their wish, and they still do nothing about it. Which is why for some of you, the universe is really annoyed. In spite of this cover story, the universe has given them every option to get out of it. And to create this change. Proof of that is this death card. It's major arcana. It's proof that they got their manifestation. That the knight showed up. Okay? The death card is proof of that. They still did nothing. This is tough energy for them to get past. There's a lot of carpet sweeping that's happened here of disappointments and whatever. We mustn't ever show the public how we feel. We mustn't ever let people know. We mustn't ever be vulnerable. Someone who believes that being vulnerable is bad. It shows weakness. It doesn't. It's empowering. But they were taught wrong. Their parents lied in a lot of cases. That very common saying that psychologists have. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. All right? It's good to know the origin story. I thought it'd be fun. Anyway, it is what it is. That is horrifying. Take a screen grab of it. Analyze it however you feel the energy, however you want, however it applies to your situation. This right here is your person's origin story, right here in this baseline. It's why they are the way they are. Take a screen grab of this center column. Forget about these. Just right here. I'll leave it laid out for you so you can do it. All nice and pretty. The devil crossed by the Four of Swords. Don't forget it's crossed by the Four of Swords. The Five of Swords, the Three of Swords, and the Eight of Swords. Your person's origin story. Stephen King couldn't write anything any better. I promise you. It's terrifying on many levels. Okay, that's your reading. I hope it was helpful. Fa la 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 la. If you like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate all the subscribers, everybody who watches and shares and all of that. All right? Good luck.